We love music. You are locked into Six Towns Radio.
The Safety Dance, Men Without Hats. Before that, we played the Lancashire Hot Pots at the beer festival. Getting over to telephones, we've got a guy on from Lancashire who's probably not wearing a hat. I've got Phil Cool on the line. How you doing, Phil? You alright, mate?
I'm good, Terry, yeah.
Not a great introduction, but that was the best I could come up with.
It's alright.
Have you heard
Better than the usual ones I get.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Lancashire Hot Pots?
I have heard of them, yeah.
Yeah.
They do one called Chippy Tea.
That's right, yeah. It's an institute, isn't it, to go to the Chippy on a Friday.
That's right.
So how are you feeling today, mate? You okay?
I'm very good, yeah. I've been just doing interviews all day, so I'm getting a little bit stuck for what to say these days. But I'm sure you'll get a good interview out of me, Terry.
I'll work you. That's what I'll do. Since you've done a few interviews, I won't go too hard, but we'll get a few good things out because there's a lot of things I want to ask you in the next 5 minutes. Obviously, famous for impressions. What is your latest or last impression? That's the first question I've been asked to ask you.
The last impression. Well, I've been trying to do Brian Cox.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is?
Yes, Professor Brian Cox.
And John Culshaw does a very good one. But I've not invested in a wig yet. I've been trying it without the wig, just sort of testing the water, so to speak, with the script. So I'm working on that one. And all the Cox-esque things like, out there's millions of women watching this programme, all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty good. That's very good, in fact. I do like it. One of my favourites, I'm a big 80s fan anyway, and I grew up in the 80s, and I can remember I used to do a lot of the Spitty Demi stuff, but I just loved Mick Jagger. That was always one of my favourite. Could I do, if you'd be so kind, a quick question and answer with Mick Jagger?
Go on, then.
Okay, first of all then, Mick, it's been 50 years of the Rolling Stones and you still gathered no moss. How's that happened?
Well, it's sort of like, I just keep moving, you just keep moving from women, from one woman to another, sort of like, but don't spread it around.
And you've heard the song Moves Like Jagger. Is there anybody who has got your moves?
I wouldn't say that, no. I've been looking at myself on sort of like video lately, and I think I'm unique. There's nobody moves like me. I sort of look like a scarecrow that somebody's just set their arse on fire.
Let's speak to Phil again. I just loved the show Cool. It just sums up, a great TV show that they put on the 80s, which you don't really get that much of now. You do get quite a lot of impressionist shows, but, that was how it should have been done, and that's how it was done.
Yeah, well, I got a great platform there with the Cool It shows. I mean, I got half an hour to do exactly what I wanted, and I think I'm the only impressionist to ever carry a full show without any guests.
Yeah.
Really. So I was very lucky to get that, and I really enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, because it was on your own as well. That's it. Because all these impressionists now, they've always got other people, doing other characters with them, but it was just you on your own. Yeah,
but there's somebody doing a tribute to me,
Is there?
Yeah. You hear all these tribute bands and tributes to Roy Orbison and such musicians, but tributes to comedians is happening as well. Somebody doing a tribute to Les Dawson, somebody doing a tribute to Tommy Cooper, and there is somebody in Australia actually doing a tribute to me.
That's amazing.
And what really upsets me is he's getting bigger audiences than I am.
The impressionist becomes the impression. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
But it was bound to happen, wasn't it? Especially in these times, people are running out of ideas.
Yeah.
We're based in Stoke, a place where you've played so many times. You were up at Leek recently, but you've been to the Victoria Hall loads and loads of times, haven't you?
I did. There was a film crew that came in there with me once in Victoria Hall and did a thing called Celebration. It was like a documentary about me, really, and it was very weird and surreal. And but I've done it probably about 6 times, that place. and it's huge. I couldn't fill it now, but it's absolutely huge. But does it still exist?
Yeah.
Has it been done up, or is it pretty much the same as it was?
It's been done up.
All right.
It's had some new curtains.
I probably wouldn't recognise it now.
And it leads us nicely onto your tour, the Final Curtain tour.
Yeah. It really is the Final Curtain tour. I love playing to audiences, and but it's getting there and getting back that's the trouble.
Yeah.
The roads are that bad these days. It's just scary, and travelling back late at night and stuff like that. I've had enough of it, really. So it is the Final Curtain tour, and
you're hanging up your face.
I enjoy it. Sure.
You're hanging up your face. That's the way of putting it. But you still will do gigs, but not tours, I suppose.
I'll still do gigs, but they'll only be just in the vicinity of where I live, really.
And where are you living now?
I'm in between Preston and Clitheroe, up in Lancashire.
Yeah, because I suppose it does take you to. I speak to quite a lot of people in who are sportsmen who have to travel all the time, and when you've done it for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, well, I've been professional for 37.
Yeah. And, it does eat your life up, doesn't it? Because, you're stuck between the venue and then you've got another venue to get to, and it's like long hours on the motorway. I could imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to carry on writing. I do songwriting and stuff. I've been songwriting since I was 16 years old, and I'm still at it. And I'm writing an autobiography thing. I think it's going to be called Stand Up Chameleon.
Very good, very good. You should copyright that quick before the Australian guy gets it.
Yeah, but it's got an alternative title as well, which is Phil Cool Died Here, but Lived to Tell the Tale. Because I'm talking about real bad venues that I had, and how I struggled in the early days, So the bad gigs always stick in your mind. Ask any comedian; he will tell you that. And when you look back on them years later, they seem quite funny, but at the time they were horrendous.
Yeah.
But they make for good writing, really.
I can imagine. I'm a DJ, and it's exactly the same. You always remember when things went a bit wrong or people were horrible to you. You always forget the amount of compliments you've had along the way. Yeah,
but that's true. But I'm going to bring this book out soon, and hopefully have a few to sell on this tour. So and then of course I'll be writing more songs and perhaps a few stories as well, because I really like writing.
Yeah, and you can do that in your own time as well, can't you?
Yeah. And and I'll keep my hand in locally with the comedy, because I can't say I'm going to stop writing comedy, because thoughts are thoughts. You can't stop your thoughts, and I think in comedy terms. I've been doing it for that long, so I'll probably come up with some crazy ideas and want to share them with people, but I'll have to share them with people that just live down the road rather than down in Cornwall and Kent and top of Scotland.
Yeah. Do you find that, though, being a comedian, that a little thing will come along, you think that's quite funny, and then you build on it?
Yeah, well, all my best routines, I always start with a little kernel of some funny idea. The best one ever of my routines, I don't know whether you saw it, it's when I was talking about working in a nightclub in Stockport. And it was one of those weird nightclubs that was really trendy. And the artist that appeared there had a choice. You could either come on through a trapdoor that opened up in the wall, and this staircase unfolded, and you could walk down onto the dance floor and entertain the audience from there. Or you could come up out of the floor, and the dance floor opened up with hydraulics, and the Thunderbirds theme tune started playing. And you come up from the cellar down below, stood there on this plinth. So I do a routine about. I chose to come up out the floor, and the Thunderbirds theme tune was playing, and I did an impression. I opened up with an impression of the Aquafibian from Stingray, which was like a puppet show years and years ago.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think a lot of our listeners will as well.
Yeah.
Very famous theme.
And, I came up out the floor and did this impression of an aquafibian, and it stuck. That was the idea. And I used to just do that bit. And then over the years, I just added on to it. And by the time I got to do the Coolidge shows, it was a long piece, and it's probably the best piece I've ever done, that, I think.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy.
I love it. It's a brilliant sketch, definitely. But this tour, let's just wrap up. This tour is taken in Birmingham, just down the road from us. That's the closest one, at the Midlands Arts Centre in February, and you will be around venues all around the country. You can go to your website, philcool.co.uk, to find out all the details. But it's been an absolute pleasure. I know you've done a lot of interviews today, but it's been an absolute pleasure having 5 minutes with you, Phil.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, it's been great talking to you, mate.
Yeah, is there a song you'd like us to play? I've got the playlist in front of me. Is there anything you would like to play? Do you ever get asked that?
What? Any song from anywhere?
Yeah, if I've got it, you know what I mean?
If you've got it.
What
about Mrs. Robinson?
Yeah, I can play that. Yeah, I can play that. That'd be quite cool. Let me just get that up. Mrs. Robinson.
I just love the production on that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Okay, then would you like to announce your song and we'll say goodbye? But thanks a lot anyway. Thanks a lot for that, Phil.
Thanks, Terry. Okay, folks, this is Mrs. Robinson by Paul Simon.